बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय जन वल्लभ यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरा जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Jayo Krishna Rukmini Jayo Satyabhama Krishna Rukmini Jayo Satyabhama Krishna Rukmini Jayo Nitai Gauranga Jayo Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jayo Jayo Prabhupada 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 Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa Kacharya Ashtotis Divine Grace Abhay Charnar Vrinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Haridas Tagore Ki Jai Srimad-Bhagavatam Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 1, text number 5, Narada's instructions on Srimad-Bhagavatam. Text number 27. Tasmin Tada Labdarucher Mahamate Tasmim Tada Labdarucher Mahamate Priyashravasya Ashkalita Matir Mama Priyashravasya Skalita Matir Mama Yayaham Etad Sadasat Swamayaya Yayaham Etad Sadasat Swamayaya Pashyem Mai Brahmani Kalpitam Pare Pashye Mai Brahmani Kalpitam Pare Tasmim Stada Labdarucher Mahamate Priyashavasya Askilita Matir Mama Yaya Hametad Sadasad Swamayaya Pashe Mai Brahmani Kalpitam Pare Tasmim Stada Labdarucher Mahamate Mama Yayami Tad Sadasat Samayaya Pashe Mai Brahmani Kalpitam Pare Tasmim Stada Labdarucher Mahamate Mama Yahametan Sadasat Swamayaya Mani Vinodam Pare Tasmim Stada Labdarucher Mahamate yahametat sadasat swamayayam pashe mai brahmani kalpitam pare. Word to word meaning. Tasmin, it being so. Tadam, at that time. Labdham, achieved. Ruchehe, taste. Mahamate, O great sage. Priyashravasi, upon the Lord. Akshalita, Askalita Matihi, uninterrupted attention. Mama, mine. Yayam, by which. Aham, I. Etat, all these. Sadasat, gross and subtle. Samayayam, one's own ignorance. Pashye, see. My, in me. Brahmani, the supreme. Kalpitam, is accepted. Pare, in the transcendence. Translation, purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. O great sage, as soon as I got a taste for the personality of Godhead, my attention to hear of the Lord was unflinching. And as my taste developed, I could realize that it was only in my ignorance that I had accepted gross and subtle coverings. For both the Lord and I are transcendental. Please repeat the translation. O great sage, as soon as I got a taste for the personality of Godhead, my attention to hear of the Lord was unflinching. And as my taste developed, I could realize that it was only in my ignorance that I had accepted gross and subtle coverings. For both the Lord and I are transcendental. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ignorance in material existence is compared to darkness, and in all Vedic literatures, the personality of Godhead is compared to the sun. Wherever there is light, there cannot be darkness. Hearing of the Lord's pastime is itself transcendental association with the Lord, because there is no difference between the Lord and his transcendental pastimes. To become associated with the supreme light is to dissipate all ignorance. By ignorance only the conditioned soul wrongly thinks that both he and the Lord are products of material nature. But in fact the personality of Godhead and the living beings are transcendental, and they have nothing to do with the material nature. When ignorance is removed and it is perfectly realized that there is nothing existing without the personality of Godhead, then nescience is removed. Since the gross and subtle bodies are emanations from the personality of Godhead, the knowledge of light permits one to engage both of them in the service of the Lord. The gross body should be engaged in acts of rendering service to the Lord, as in bringing water, cleansing the temple, or making obeisances, etc. The path of Archana, or worshipping the Lord in the temple, involves engaging one's gross body in the service of the Lord. Similarly, the subtle mind should be engaged in hearing the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, thinking about them, chanting his name, etc. All such activities are transcendental. None of the gross or subtle senses should otherwise be engaged. Such realization of transcendental activities is made possible by many, many years of apprenticeship in the devotional service, but simply attraction of love for the personality of Godhead as it was developed in Narada Muni by hearing is highly effective. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakayam चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। It's an Narada's instruction on Srimad-Bhagavatam to Vyasadeva. If you just go the previous statement, it says, text number 26, O Vyasadeva, in that association and by the mercy of those great Vedantists, I could hear them describe the attractive activities of Lord Krishna, and thus listening attentively, my taste for hearing of the personality of Godhead increased at every step. The whole context is, in the period of Chaturmasya, the great Vedantists came to a certain location where the Narada Munis and his mother were staying, and it happened he was being blessed, and also he put his chesta also to render service to those devotees. It's all two factors here we understand. It's again the blessings of the Lord, at the same time our chesta also is important. Somebody can say, I am not blessed. No, that is not very important. That's not very complete. No, how much chesta we are putting. That is very much, because chesta is within our choice. Because when we don't use our choice, our free will, even the Lord's blessings also, we may not accept also. Just like as in the statement is explained here, O great sage, as soon as I got taste for the personality of Godhead, my attention to hear of the Lord was unflinching. And as my taste developed, I could realize that it was only in my ignorance that I had accepted gross and subtle coverings. For the both Lord and I are transcendental. As Narada Muni says, as the taste developed, he could realize that he is so far in ignorance by accepted the gross and subtle coverings. That means, as he has become advanced in spiritual by attentively hearing from the Vedantists, he developed the taste. So far, he could realize that he was only in ignorance that I could accept gross and subtle coverings. Like, just to see, there is a small article in the news. In California, there's a person who was very much interested about deer costume. Deer. The deer costume. What happened? He wore it, went to forest. Almost he looked like a deer only. The way he behaves, he has even having a thorns also. This is horns. He is even having that horns in the costume. There are people who came for the hunting, thinking that it's also deer, and they shot him. He was admitted to the hospital. See the situation, the extreme, the ignorance we go through. Some extent we may have desired to take care of the pets, animals in the home, homely dogs, cats. Some extent people even go for the lions, tigers, based on the capacity, their strength. And this person is very much interested about the deer. See how it begins, as Krishna says in Gita, in the By contemplating the sense objects, one develops attachment. From the attachment, one develops lust. From lust, anger arises. Like it's a stage by stage. Let us understand. Like I visited recently one of known person's house. In that house, there are around almost 4 dogs are there. 4 for different breeds of dogs. Then almost they spend hour or 2 hours every day to take care of those dogs. And the person explaining me, it took me so much. It took me a lot of endeavor. Shri Krishna Katha ki jai, Shri Krishna Prabhupada ki jai. He says that it took him a lot of endeavor to convince his mother to bring the pets to the home. No, even initially the mother was very reluctant. She doesn't allow 2 pets inside the house. And what happened? He brought it, kept it outside. Big garage will be there, big garden will be there in that house, and was kept outside. Slowly, because which is very close to their family, the mother starts seeing them, rubbing their body, and started feeding also. Slowly, what happened? The dogs started coming inside the house. They allowed it. It went on so. The mother was taking care of those dogs, almost spent 2 to 3 hours every day to caring for those dogs, bathing them, feeding them, massaging them. How it begins. Like initially she was not interested to take care of the dogs. But as by contemplating, by associating those animals, naturally it develops the taste. To this person, if you see the context of the same person, he came one step higher. He even want to behave like a deer. No, it's not that we'll stuck up with only caring of the dogs. Someday or other we may come to the position we even want to like a dogs, because we see the dogs are most humble and submissive, very polite, generous, and we think the humans are not very, they're always in the cheating mentality, propensity. They may come to the stage of, instead of having human life, let us have a dog's life. Where we heard the statement, one of the Prabhupada's lecture in university, one of the students raised, what is the wrong to becoming a dog? In the next life. At least leave it for this life. According to the karma, one takes the next life according to their nature. We even come one step further. We want to be a dog in this life itself. Even though we got the opportunity of human life, we even want to behave like animals. What happened? In the ignorance, the people who came to hunt in the forest, considering him that he is a deer, real deer, and he got shot dead. Means he got shooted, and he was admitted in a hospital. See, the ignorance, to what extreme it will take us to our consciousness. It's all begins with a small step. You can say it's a process of advancing in our ignorance. Like I met another family. Like as we go every day, we keep meeting people. It's interesting that we discuss. One of the family I went, there's a big aquariums, almost, I don't know how big it will be. It's quite, if you see the dimensions, it's around 6 feet by 4 feet. 6 feet by 4 feet, that is such a big aquarium. And there is a big fishes, quite big fishes. And there is next to that there is a small aquarium. It's around 4 feet by 4 feet. And there is a smaller fishes. Then I just out of curiosity I was asking, what is this two difference? No, Swami, I keep the small aquarium. I take care of the small fish. That is a food for the big fishes. And there is a bigger aquarium. They take out the small fishes from small aquarium and they feed the bigger aquarium fishes. No, just giving a rough example, like how the previous example, the mother, so much caring of the animal. Basically, if you see in the ignorance, most of the caring is based on the exploitation only. Exploitation of material nature or exploiting by our own self. No, the other person, he says, he was so much considered about the bigger fish, looks so big it is, and he was so concerned it. But his concern is so that he is allowing smaller fishes to get eaten by the bigger fish. Means what happens to the small fish? It's not a life or what? See, according to the Prakriti, what Krishna says, Jiva Jivasya Jivanam. One Jiva is dependent on another Jiva. That is how the nature goes. But we don't have rights to control, to forcefully allow the fish to get eaten by the bigger fish. No, that's where the ignorance, basically the enjoyment what we come across in the material nature, it's more or less in the basis of the ignorance. Because ignorance is more or less is like exploitation. It is a smaller scale what we explained. Exploitation by our nature, our consciousness, we degrade our life from human nature to animalistic life. But some higher end if you go, automobiles, industrialization, like you see in Sri Perambuttur, the huge industries of manufacturing of cars, missions, and it requires, we think that we are developing, it requires a lot of water. The enormous of water is needed too in those industries. So much water was usaged. The one growth in the name of ignorance, we have to exploit some other nature. That's why like automobile industry, that's electric vehicles. We think that we are able to reduce the petrol by avoiding, by using EV cars. But somewhere or other, some other part of the country was, those chemicals will be misused it. Like the ignorance, what happened, we don't know what exactly we are doing. It's like the state of manipulation and contemplation only. As Prabhupada says, it requires a lot of mind control. Because the self, like I would say, in the 3rd chapter, in the 10th chapter, in the 6th chapter, Krishna says, 6.33 and 34, the mind control. Because when the conversation happened between Arjuna and Krishna, there is in the Sankhya Yoga, the lot of statements as Krishna said to Arjuna. The Arjuna says, for the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate and very strong. O Krishna, and to subdue it, it seems to me more difficult than controlling the mind. Why I am saying, the consciousness, the regulated principles. Because naturally, like I would give another example. Recently, one of our contact, they called me, referring that his friend's son was very much addicted to the gambling. He was studying engineering, 3rd year, he has come to 3rd year. But as a parent, come to know that he cleared the exam. So and so, he was explained like that. But from the right from 3rd year, he was very much addicted to these IPL matches. He takes the semester fees and he put it in a gambling. And the last, like that 1-2 years, he was not studied, neither he has a lot of papers to clear it. And the father was calling me, Swamiji, please come and motivate my son and make him understand what exactly the life is. He was explaining me, Swamiji, I was not very interested, but somehow we were addiction was happened. Because when we are addicted, it's not easy to come out of it. But as Krishna says, if you see, as it is mentioned here, for the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, very strong. It is not very easy to control it. But Krishna says it's not easy, but it required a constant practice. And one more important point, as Krishna mentions, not only the constant practice, by detachment. It's the two objects. Practice come with detachment. Because less like there is we give the kaja packets to our people when we go out. In the packet it is mentioned that always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Seems to be same only. Always remembering is Krishna is same. Never forgetting also looks like it is remembering only. But it is mentioned like that. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. It means in Sanskrit, if you read, it says Smartavyam Satatam Vishnus Vismartavyam na jatu chit. That means always remember Krishna, but never forget Krishna. Like Madhu Pandit Prabhu says, it's a difference. It's a Sankalpa Shakti and Vikalpa Shakti. Like we put our Sankalpa to practice our spiritual life. Whatever challenges, getting up in the morning, chanting, reading, association, some Sankalpa we do. But vikalpa, we forget it and we avoid it. Vikalpa means what? No, something which is disturbing our spiritual journey. We may not know also, some extent, because something which we like, we take it as granted, like even taking coffee, tea, association with people who are too much attached to material activities, attending lot of social gatherings. We may do it because we think we are not good. I would say it's like that we practice our spiritual life and we are putting sankalpa. But at the same time, we should apply the vikalpa shakti. It's both are energy only. Sankalpa shakti is important. Same time, vikalpa shakti also important. The vikalpa shakti is try to avoid what is not favorable to Krishna consciousness. Sankalpa shakti is try to put energy to practice on spiritual life. Almost more or less it is similar, but some small difference also will be there. That's why smartavyam, satatam Vishnu, vismartavyam. We should not forget Vishnu also. But further, there is a Prabhupada mentions in the purport, apprenticeship. No, he used the word. Not seeing it, but Prabhupada says that apprenticeship. Like we remember when we go to colleges, when we come to the company, we will be under the process of apprenticeship, the training process, and we should go through the system according to their standards. To that we undergo some process of training is required. Then training is given under the great the expert people in that organization. Similarly, to become because it's a system. Everybody has to undergo some certain process of training is required. Every aspect, even material aspect also, it's very important. Every aspect, whatever field we are, lot of training is important in our spiritual journey. Even materially also, a lot of training required. But spiritually, what happened? It's not, in general to speak, it's not very survival to our material life. Spiritual life is like a optional. We think many other people, like when we come to an age of 40, 60, 80, we maybe take up spiritually, we may come spiritually, visit some temples. But we consider the spiritual life is like a optional. When it is optional, we may not put our endeavor to practice it. But when we take it as optional, we may not be serious about it. Because every day I was meeting some people, like they say that at the age of 70, because they become retired. And I go in a Cholai, one of the shop in Cholai, who are the mostly plywood merchants, timber merchants. The elderly person of 80 years old, he comes every day to office because he was coming last many years of his office, and he sits and play Candy Crush in that office. Because he don't have any other activity, because he was financially he was a little relieved from the son. Son is more or less is taking charge, and he has more of the time he's become empty. Spaced out, and most of the time he spent by playing games in a mobile. Like unless we practice under the guidance of spiritual master, expert devotees, pure devotees, it's not easy to remain and to continue our spiritual journey, to become serious about our practices. Like if you see one more aspect I made, to continue our spiritual journey also, see, materially we are so much trained about our goals, targets, achievements. Spiritually we should keep some more targets like that, because when we keep an object, we may try to endeavor to complete the targets and goals. Like if you take the household people, because regularly they have a lot of activities in their life, going offices, coming, and their object should be, according to the Shastra says, 50% their earnings should be offered to Krishna. In the sense, organizing programs in their houses, inviting people, offering prasadam to them, supporting the organizations. Like this is how the Shastras explains. Like this should be the goal of household people, where they should work hard to earn and offer those sacrifices for the spiritual activities, for the spiritual advancement. Now if you see, there is a Bhagavatam explains, as we heard the statement by Narada Muni, State that by attentively hearing from those Vedantists, he could realize the spiritual transcendental understandings. Then what are the benefits of those hearings? It was mentioned in Bhagavatam, in the first canto, in 10th canto, in the 7th chapter it is mentioned. They said there are 7 benefits by hearing the Krishna Katha, hearing the transcendental subjects. Maybe let us go one aspect of that. The conversation is, the king Parikshit said, my Lord Sukadeva Goswami, all the various activities exhibited by the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are certainly pleasing to ear and to the mind. Simply by once hearing of these activities, the dirty things in one's mind immediately vanish. This is one of the benefit of hearing the Krishna Katha. What it says? Simply by once hearing these activities, the dirty things in one's mind immediately vanish. It says, generally we are reluctant to hear about the activities of the Lord, but Krishna's childhood activities are so attractive that they are automatically pleasing to the mind and ear. This is the second one. Thus, one's attachment for hearing about the material things, which is the root cause of existence, vanishes, and one gradually develops devotional service to Supreme Lord. Then, attachment for Him and friendship with the devotees who give us the contribution of Krishna consciousness. If you think it fit, kindly speak about those activities of the Lord. Like when we see the first benefit, simply by once hearing of these activities, the dirty things in one's mind immediately vanishes. See, it's very important by hearing the Krishna Katha. Anadi karma, it's not one life we are carrying all our mental activities. It's many lives we are coming across. But it's a blessings of the Lord. Why? It's simply by hearing how we become freed, as Krishna confirms in Bhagavad Gita. He says, the 10th chapter, Krishna says, the 10.6. 10.11 he says, Tesham evanu kampatham aham ajnanajam tamaham nashayami atam bhavostom jnana deepena bhashvatah. It says, out of compassion for them, I dwelling in their hearts destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. To whom he is saying, out of compassion for them, I dwelling in their hearts destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. To whom he is saying? To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. It says, Tesham Satyuktanam Vajatam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogantam Yenamam Tam Upayantite. No, by constantly, to those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. It's not that ignorance is just like that, it goes away. It's only by the blessings of Krishna, by people who are constantly engaging in the devotional service, he removes that ignorance. What is that ignorance? We all know it's a body concept, which is I and mine. Because when there is ignorance, the happiness leads us to destruction. Lot of distractions may come across. It's even exploitation of the material nature, exploitation of our own nature, degrading our conscious from the higher self to lower self. But when we are serious about our spiritual journey by hearing the Krishna Katha, no, which is very much pleasing, as Krishna says, in the Bhagavatam says, by hearing the childhood pastimes of Krishna. And it is very pleasing to the ear and heart. And that way, by simply hearing, by chanting, by practicing the Krishna consciousness under the guidance, Prabhupada says apprenticeship. Apprenticeship is not like by your own speculation, own concoction. It is only by the pure guidance only one should practice the spiritual journey and advance in their life, where they become very much attached to Krishna. That's where the real happiness one come across it. Okay? We'll stop here. Srimad-Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.